There have been 3 versions of the internet so far, and the 4th one is just starting. Some people think this is the future, others think it's just hype. In Web 1, we could only read. In Web 2, we could read and also post. And even then, we didn't really own anything. In Web 3, that changes. Now, you can actually own a part of the platform you are using. But here is where it gets interesting. Web3 is one of the most talked about things right now, but very few people can explain it simply. So let's break it down. One thing to remember, there is no single definition of Web3. What we are seeing right now is still evolving. Web3 is just the next version of the internet. But to understand it, we need to go backwards. Web 1 was the first version. It was read only. You could go to a website, read something and leave. That's it. No posting, no interaction. Think of it like a library. You go there, you read books, but you can't change anything. Then came Web 2, and this is where everything changed. This is the internet we use today. Now you can post, like, comment, share, shop, transact. We are no longer just consuming. We are participating. This is where the internet became read and write. But here is something you have probably noticed. You search for something once and suddenly you start seeing ads for it everywhere. Most people don't even realize this is happening. That's not a coincidence. Think of it like this. You send a letter to a postman, but the postman reads your letter and then uses that information for his own benefit. That's what today's internet does. You create content, you build audience, you spend time, but the platform owns your content, it owns your data, it controls your reach, and more importantly, makes money from your activity through ads, through your data, through your attention. You create the value, they captured most of it. And the rules, they can change anytime. And you don't really have a say. This is making sense so far. You are already ahead of most people. Now, this is where things start to get interesting. Web3 introduces a new idea, ownership. This not just using the internet, but actually owning a part of it. In Web3, the internet becomes read, write, and own. At its core, Web3 is about 3 things: ownership, value sharing, and more control over your data. Which means instead of one company making all the money, the people who contribute can also benefit. This is also where things like tokens and cryptocurrencies come in. They are one way to enable this ownership. Let's take an example. Social media. Today, when you post something on Insta or X, your content lives on that platform. Your followers are tied to that platform. If the platform changes rules or reduces your reach, you don't have much control. And while all of this is happening, they are making money from your content. Now imagine this. What if you could take your content anywhere? Instead of your content living inside one app, it lives in your own account. Think of it like a digital account that you control and not the platform. And different apps can access your content only if you allow them to. So you decide where your content shows up, and if you don't want it somewhere anymore, you can remove it. Your content stays with you. That's ownership. We will go deeper into how this works in a separate video. Now, let's extend this further. Platforms can have their own tokens. People who own or earn these tokens are not just users, and they benefit when the platform grows. So when the platform grows, the value can flow back to the users. This is a completely different way of thinking about the internet. And this does not stop at the internet. Let's take real estate. If you want to buy property in a place like Palm Dubai, you would need a lot of money. For most people, that's not possible. But Web3 can change this. Imagine that same property is divided into smaller parts. Instead of one person buying it, hundreds or even thousands of people can invest. It could be as low as $50 or higher depending on the property. Each person becomes a partial owner, and when the property earns rent, that income can be distributed automatically to everyone. And the key difference is this: no brokers, no heavy paperwork, no running around. You can do all of this from your phone in minutes. This is made possible through smart contracts. Don't worry if that sounds complex. The idea is actually simple. They are just programs that run automatically when certain conditions are met. So instead of relying on middlemen, it just runs. Now coming back to where we started, in Web 1, we could only read. In Web 2, we could read and post, but we didn't own anything. In Web 3, that starts to change. Now you can actually own a part of the internet. So from reading to participating to owning, the internet has come a long way. And what about Web 4? If Web 3 is about ownership, Web 4 is about automation. Think of it like this: Web 3 is a car you drive. Web 4 is a self-driving car. It knows where to go, it picks the best route, it pays toll on its own, and it makes decisions without you doing anything. Now imagine this on the internet. Your AI could read the news for you, summarize what matters, and even take action. You could give it a budget, and based on your preferences, it can decide what to do. Subscribe, invest, transact, all automatically. You set the rules and it operates within them. Now this might sound futuristic, but it is closer than you think. Now to be fair, there is a lot of hype in this space. Not everything works perfectly yet. There are scams, there are challenges, and a lot still needs to be figured out. So I'm curious, now that you have understood this, does Web3 actually make sense to you? Or it still feels like hype? Let me know in the comments. And if you really want to understand this space, in the next videos, we will break down things like wallets, tokens, and how all of this actually works. So make sure you are subscribed, because that's where it starts getting interesting.